Texas is not screwing around this year. And Steve Sarkisian, I think you could make the argument that he continues to keep adding very good wide receivers. He's been with Texas for 6 seasons now. 3 of them, he's added the number 1 wide receiver in the portal. No different this time around. Cam Coleman from Auburn decides to be a Texas Longhorn. First thing that comes to my mind is right away, it's September in Austin. We get Jeremiah Smith versus Cam Coleman, Ohio State versus Texas. We get number 1 versus number 2 receivers in the 2024 class. Insane stuff. Can't wait for that one. But immediately what comes to mind is this. Cam Coleman was underutilized. I guess you could even say underappreciated at Auburn. Had not the great quarterbacks. Peyton Thorne, Jackson Arnold, Ashton Daniels. Those names are not Arch Manning. And although at the beginning of last season, Arch Manning wasn't the best, he definitely developed into a great quarterback. If you watch Arch Manning in that Ohio State-Texas game, and then you watch him in the bowl game, that's a completely different quarterback.
Totally different.
We're back to talking about Arch Manning being most likely the number 1 pick in the 2027 draft. Now he has a guy like Cam Coleman as his wide receiver 1. Is Texas officially back?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, they're 17th in the transfer portal rankings for this year, if I'm not mistaken. They have been killing it. That's 2025. Yeah, so I am mistaken. I'm curious what the number is for this year. But they are building around Arch to try to bring success right about now, which is, I think, probably the right play. You can definitely, build out a few years, but with the NIL being what it is, and you have a legit quarterback who's choosing to stay, just bring him weapons. And you're exactly right. Cam Coleman is somehow one of the best wide receivers ever, or not ever, but like of this current, like who's out there, and was underutilized. And so I think we could even see a boost in what he's capable of and what his stats look like here at Texas. And I think this personally turns Texas into a legit, at least SEC contender, probably national title contender, just because more weapons equals more points equals more good, in my opinion. That's kind of how my brain works. It's pretty simple. But I think this is one of the best pickups that Texas could have made. And I personally put a ton of value into this as far as boosting what their potential is for next season.
Yeah, Texas currently, according to On3, they have them as the 20th best transfer portal class right now. I think they're still going to cook, though. But there's a couple other players that are coming in. We talked about them a little bit in the past, talked about some other players that potentially could go there. And I think we talked about 3 players. One of them was Cam Coleman. He was the only one that went to Texas in that conversation. But Hollywood Smothers, the running back from North Carolina State, he's going to Texas. They basically rebuilt their entire running back room. So they had to bring in a big-time running back. Smothers is that guy. Rasheem Biles from Pitt, that linebacker, he's a dude. Justin Cryer, he's a dude from Florida State. Dylan Sikorsky, Oregon State, a young interior offensive lineman. He's going to be somebody that I think would be really exciting to watch. There's a lot of interesting pieces. Raleek Brown from Arizona State, another running back. I think the offense has been retooled. I don't know if the running back room is going to be better than it was last year. I think that'll be a question for me. But overall, I think Arch Manning has enough weapons, maybe even more if you want to put Cam Coleman in that conversation of being better, and which I do think that's the case. I think Cam Coleman is receiver 2 or 3 off the board in the draft next year. I don't think anybody's touching Jeremiah Smith. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But other than that, I think you were in a really good spot. And Texas missed the college football playoffs this past year. They played Michigan in the bowl game. It was one of the best bowl games of the year, but they missed it. They're obviously going to be trying to get back, especially in Arch's most likely last season. And this is huge. I think this is absolutely huge for the Longhorns.
Yeah, that's how I see this as well. I like to say, like, the Texans are just fading off into irrelevance, and they have pulled themselves right back into this here. Obviously not dominating the Big 12 anymore. What does the future of the Longhorns look like? This was a big move for them. This was a move that I think showed what the future could look like. Obviously, you have to get the actual production from the player, right? Like, that's the most important thing here. You could bring in Tom Brady next year, and if he just only throws picks, it's like, well, that didn't really work out. You need to have the actual production. But on paper, this makes Texas look significantly better, and a team that if I was going to put money down, this is a team I would definitely consider. Hey, quick timeout. If you haven't already, hit subscribe down below. We're live literally every morning during the week talking about the biggest stories in sports. So you hitting subscribe is completely free and helps us out more than you know. It's a win-win all around. All right, back to the clip.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Arch Manning deals with his new wide receivers. And if you remember, I mean, the Iron Bowl is one of the most popular games, even if Auburn and Alabama are terrible. It's still one of those
Hmm.
games that people watch all the time. It's a historic game. Cam Coleman's catches in those games were unreal on a national stage. Now you're going to do it with a team with Arch Manning, who everybody's paying attention to. Let's not
Absolutely.
sugarcoat it. Everybody's going to be paying attention to Arch Manning, just like they did this past season. It's going to be even more. It's going to be under a magnifying glass this year because nobody truly expected him to leave and enter the draft this past year, especially after the first game of the season against Ohio State. That narrative is out the window now. It
Yeah.
is, what does he have now to make sure he's ready for the NFL draft? And now he's got weapons like Cam Coleman, who he would have in the NFL, right? He'd have that type of weapons in the greatest league in the world. So I'm really excited to see how he does. And I'm excited also to stop hearing people say, well, if his name was Arch Smith, nobody talking about him. Cut it out. This guy is talented. He's
Yeah.
talented.
Well, and to that argument, I just would love to throw in the fact that, like, yeah, having that last name does get you more opportunities. I can't sit here and tell you that, like, having Manning brothers as uncles wouldn't make me a better quarterback. Obviously, just every family gathering or whenever you see them, I'm sure that he sees them, more than I probably see my uncles. Like, hey, can you show me how to throw a football? Because you might be one of the greatest to ever do it. I feel like that'd be a question that I'd be okay with asking. They'd probably be okay with telling me how it would go. Like, yeah, it got him into these positions, and it definitely, as a name, boosted his stock. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It 100% did. But guess what? He is talented. He can perform. It does not really matter now what his stock was because he is playing at least like a guy who can get drafted. Like, whether he gets drafted at the exact position that he should or not, that'll be another question of, what is the name and how is that involved? But you can't tell me that he is not playing at an NFL level. Like, he absolutely is playing like one of the best quarterbacks in football. I would say more so in the second half of the season. The first half was kind of rough. But like he has developed, and if he sticks around for another year, which I think we all assume he's going to, like, that is just another year under his belt. There is no reason to have the argument that, well, he doesn't deserve to go to the NFL. Like, that's not fair anymore because he's talented enough.
I think Cam Coleman is an exciting piece. There's no doubt about that. I think it's going to help his development even more for Arch Manning. And I think we're going to see Texas back in the college football playoffs because of not just Cam Coleman, but all the other pieces they've added. I think they've had a strong recruiting class as well. I have faith in Steve Sarkisian to get them back to the college football playoffs. I truly do. And I think Arch Manning's going to do it this year. Don't be shocked that they're one of the top teams in the SEC in 2026.
Hey, just wanted to thank you for watching the entire video. If you haven't already, consider hitting subscribe down below. It helps the channel grow and helps us bring better content to you guys every single day. We're live literally every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 Eastern talking about the biggest stories in sports. So if you haven't dropped by, you really should. We love interacting with chatters, hearing your guys' opinions. You could easily become a part of the show. So hit subscribe and tell a friend. I'll see you in the morning.